Right, 6 August 2024. And today I'm going to be quickly looking at what is going to be happening this week. And the biggest story for this week is SADC. So SADC is going to be in Zimbabwe, and this is going to be starting on Thursday. So Thursday, which is 2 days from now, and the ministers of SADC and senior officials are going to be at Parliament. So SADC, the way it's going to work is that there's going to be a number of activities, starting with senior officials and finance committee between the 8th and 11th, and then the SADC Council of Ministers meeting, which is going to be held between the 13th and the 14th. And these two meetings, these are the ones that are going to be looking at the agenda of SADC before we have the public lecture on the 15th and the organ Troika, which is going to take place on the 16th. And then the presidents are going to be in Zimbabwe on the 17th. So SADC Summit is going to take just 1 day. The presidents are going to be in the country for only 1 day on the 17th. The event is going to open and close on the same day because Mnangagwa has failed to find accommodation for the presidents, as I said to you in the past. However, the most important revelation is that Mnangagwa is now going to be discussed on the SADC agenda. And there are about 2 or 3 items which are important that are going to be discussed. And also there are going to be a number of outcomes. So let's look at the issues that are going to be on the agenda. So the first and most important is the human rights violations that are taking place in Zimbabwe right now. The presidents of SADC, some of them have already asked for that item to be on the agenda. That is why you saw that yesterday Mnangagwa was complaining that there is an attempt to divide SADC. So Mnangagwa said there's an attempt to divide SADC by foreign powers. What he means is that other presidents of SADC have asked that this issue be discussed. The fact that Mnangagwa has been cracking down on the opposition, that is going to be discussed during the SADC summit. Zimbabwe is the only country right now that is cracking down on the opposition. And that is going to have a big implication on Mnangagwa, likely to cost him the SADC chairmanship. So we're reaching the point now where it is possible that Mnangagwa can lose the SADC chairmanship. So you see it looks like it's a remote possibility, but you see that this is going to happen. Currently, we've got over 120 opposition activists in prison. So that is one key point. You will see a discussion on the human rights violations in Zimbabwe during the SADC summit, and there will be a statement on that in the SADC communique. You're going to see a statement on the human rights violation in Zimbabwe in the SADC communique, which is going to come out at the end of the SADC summit. There's also going to be a discussion on the Zambia situation. So you remember that Mnangagwa went to Russia and he made statements about Russia, about Zambia to Russia. And this is going to be discussed. And there'll also be a statement on this from SADC. And then finally, there'll be a statement on the SIOM report. The SIOM report on Zimbabwe found that the election did not meet the SADC, the criteria for SADC elections. So that was also going to be discussed. So we've got 3 key discussions on Zimbabwe that are going to take place, not all of them at summit, but some of them are going to take place during the Council of Ministers, which is between the 13th and the 14th, and then the senior officials and finance committee meeting, which is going to be on the 8th to the 11th of August. Because when they move the chairmanship to Zimbabwe, it also means certain functions of SADC are going to move to Zimbabwe. That is currently some of them that are being held in Angola and some of them that are being held in Zambia. And they're going to be taking place in Zimbabwe, and key contact people at SADC are going to change, especially at the secretariat, because Mnangagwa now will be the chairperson and will be having his own people. You saw that most of the activities that are taking place right now at SADC, they had and influence of Zambia and Angola. So Zimbabwe is going to step in. But given the issues that have been raised on human rights, the issues on the SIOM report, and the fight with Zambia, you see that Zimbabwe is going to be on the agenda. And we have to watch this very, very closely. Mnangagwa has done things that are not normally done by other presidents. So other presidents don't do what Mnangagwa is doing, especially jailing of the people that are currently sitting in jail at the moment, the human rights activists. This has alarmed many presidents in SADC. They do not know how to deal with it. SADC Secretariat right now, they do not know how to deal with the situation that is arisen in Zimbabwe. If you look at all the SADC platforms, they cannot communicate regarding this issue. They can't speak on what Mnangagwa is doing without jeopardizing the SADC Summit itself. So the SADC Summit is actually in danger because of what Mnangagwa is doing and his failure to see. So Mnangagwa cannot see what is wrong with what he's doing. And yet all other countries around us are clear that this is a serious violation of human rights. So it's a good thing that Mnangagwa did this now because then SADC is forced to act and you're going to see the action very, very soon. I now want to quickly look at the news. There is not many stories today. So let's look at a few stories that I have here. And obviously the biggest story is the young Zimbabweans that are currently at the Olympics. So we've got 2 young Zimbabweans here. So let me remove this banner here. On the left, you've got Makanaka Ishe Charamba. And then you've got Tapiwa Nashe Makarau. So these 2 ran yesterday and they qualified for the semi-finals. So young Charamba here, I think he was on 20.2. Let me find the actual minutes here so that I don't give you the wrong minutes. So that was young Makarau here, 20.07. So he was number 2 after the Americans. And then young Makana Ishe was on 20.27. So these guys have qualified for the semifinals. And I hope that they do well. This is very competitive. The guys run very fast. So they've already done very well by getting to the semifinals. And I don't know where to follow the Olympics. So I tend to get the snippets on Twitter and on YouTube, because obviously I don't sit in front of the TV the whole day. But this was last night, and it's one of the first times that the young Zimbabweans have qualified to this level. I know the guys from Botswana, they normally do very well. And you can see already, Letsile Tebogo, he did very well, but his numbers, his speed is actually less than that of Makarau. So Makarau qualified with the fastest time than Tebogo of Botswana. So let's see what happens. I'm sure within the next 2 days or so, we'll have the next time that these guys are running. I now want to look at an entertainment story. And this is coming from H Metro newspaper. So if you go to H Metro newspaper, you're going to see this story. I wanted to carry this yesterday, but something happened. So this is 60-year-old Zimbabwean man, Samuel Chikonzo. Now he has 16 children from his four wives. And he said he wants to have 40 children. And most of his family members live up to 100. So he still feels good. He's got a lot of time to live. So this is an interesting story. You check it out in the H Metro newspaper. And then we've got a business story, which is Cassava. This is the company of Zimbabwean billionaire Strive Masiwa. So initially there was Econet, just as a telecommunications company, but Cassava has become an international company, mostly in the financial services sector and technology sector. And now they've introduced a new company that is going to be doing artificial intelligence or generative AI. So that company is going to be called Cassava AI. So that's an interesting company. They've already employed 200 people who will be in this company. That is Cassava AI. And out of their 5,000 employees, 200 of the employees are going to be working in this sector or in this business unit, which is Cassava AI. Then in politics, Constance Chiota has agreed with Sengezo Chawangu. She's no longer contesting his leadership, and they've therefore put her back into parliament. She's no longer recalled, and she's going to be back in parliament. She is an MP who was recalled recently, and ZEC has put in a statement here to say that Citizens Coalition for Change Party has erroneously recalled this lady, Chiwota. So they're saying it's a mistake, but obviously it's clear that she was in discussions with Chawangu and they allowed her to come back into parliament. So I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's clear that the parliament that is there right now is not the real parliament. This is something that will eventually have to be dissolved after the dialogue. So a dialogue that we're looking at will eventually result in a change or a reset of everything that is happening now. Everything that is happening now doesn't make sense. And we need to look forward to a transitional system because our whole legislative system, the judges, parliament, government, everything is not functioning the way it's supposed to function. And we need a new reset to build our systems from scratch. So all this that is happening will eventually have to be dissolved. It makes no sense. Then let's look at the military of Zimbabwe. So the Zimbabwe military is doing very, very well. And they've showcased here all the projects that they did. So the Zimbabwe military yesterday, through the Minister of Defense, Opam Chinguri, they opened a block. So the block on the top left, this was opened yesterday with Minister Opam Chinguri and Presidential Guard Commander Brigadier General Fidelis Mona at Kwazana 2. So this is a very big block that they built, the one on the top left, and then they've got other blocks that they built. So I'm going to put this statement on gambako.com. You'll be able to see it within the next 20 minutes or so. But the military of Zimbabwe is doing very, very well, as I said, and they are trying to contribute to the community. And this is actually a good direction that they're taking. They did a look at Chino High School in Cholocho. They did a block at Luanga. They did a block at Nyamaropa and one at Tsungai Primary School in Nembudzia Gokwe. So they've done very, very well, and they're building a clinic at Rukweza. And what is interesting about what the military is doing is that this is something that they did very quietly until the actual project was finished. So they did shout and say it before it was built. And that's what I like about the military guys. They finish their projects, unlike other people who don't finish their projects. So this is very interesting. But going forward, the military is going to play a very big part. And as I said yesterday, it's important to focus on the actual officers. A soldier mustn't be living the way that they're living now. And a soldier must show that he is actually someone saving the nation. At the moment, a soldier is not doing well at all. And that is junior officers, senior officers. I had a conversation with a number of people yesterday. And we looked at all the people who fought in the War of Liberation. The guys in the senior positions in the army. And it was clear that these guys are struggling. They're having very difficult times. And most of them, even though they've got senior positions in the army, they don't have anything to show for all the work they've done. So this is obviously because of lack of a structure for providing for the senior guys and for the junior guys. It's almost like there's an ad hoc approach to how they provide for senior officials. When someone retires, you saw what has happened. Most of them are dying without even a simple house. Some of the guys have got farms, nothing's happening in those farms. And some of these guys, their children are solely dependent on the government for everything, including simple things like school fees. Whereas these are the guys that should be able to develop the communities because they've got training. But at the moment, a guy in the military is coming out, he comes out with nothing. And when he retires, he's just waiting to die. That is crazy, the situation in Zimbabwe. And this needs to be addressed. The military guys, that's why it's hard for things to change in our country, because everyone is clinging on, trying to get that little cent so that they can survive for the next few weeks or few months. Right, let's look at the comments. Mkoma Kumblani says, Gambako ED must go to Kwekwe and be a farmer, not a president. Yeah, Mkoma Kumblani, the problem just goes beyond Mnangagwa. The whole system has collapsed. We need to build a new, fresh country where things work and where the country can develop. At the moment, the country can't develop. Corruption is not just in Mnangagwa's office. It's everywhere. And the fact that the judiciary can arrest and throw people in jail for 50 days without seeing anything wrong, not granting bail, for a simple meeting, it shows you that the rot is everywhere. It's not just in Mnangagwa's office. It also goes all the way to the judiciary. Even our lawyers are corrupt. So I wanted to just tell you that even the bodies that's supposed to supervise the lawyers is corrupt. I think the Law Society of Zimbabwe, I've written them a letter almost a month ago. They do not have the courtesy to even respond to say we received your letter. People in Zimbabwe, they just feel it's fine to behave in a certain way. We have a serious systematic problem in our country, and it's not just at the surface. It goes deep in our the whole country. Our whole country is totally rotten, and we need to fix our country so that it becomes a success. And our country is not successful at all because of the way that we all behave. It's not just the guys in Mnangagwa's office, as I said. It's everyone, including the people that are supposed to make the systems work, including the opposition. No one cares about addressing and making our country a success. If you look at what's happening at the Harare City Council, what is happening at other places where you expect things to work, that is the problem. Right, I want to look at other comments here and see if there's anything else. Morning to everyone who's saying morning to Gambakwe. And then Mkumani also saying, for sure, he killed our people in Matabele, now he's going against the young Zimbabweans. Ndiani arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. Mnangagwa is destroying our country, and we need a fresh new system that will work, that will make us all a success. And then Mkoma Viki says SADC will just issue a statement to say they have noted to concern the human rights violations and urge the Zimbabwe government to address them. Don't run like that. I don't think that is the situation. I think this is very serious. Mnangagwa is in a very difficult position right now, and he's going to probably lose the SADC chairmanship. This is very possible because SADC is not going to just look at people sitting in jail and leave the country with all those people in jail. I foresee a statement calling for the release of those people, because what Mnangagwa is doing right now is to test SADC and say, how far can these guys go? He wants to see, remember Mnangagwa is angry at the SIOM report. He wants to see how far they can go. And who is the first person that is going to speak among all the African presidents. So we are going to have an opportunity right now to see if President Hakainde Hichilema is going to act and how he's going to act. That is where Mnangagwa is going. He wants to push these guys to a level where they will react. So he wants to see how far President Hakainde Hichilema is going to go. He wants to see how far President Ramaphosa is going to go. He wants to see how far Masisi is going to go. And by that time, he's like a chess grandmaster. He is pushing everyone to a point where if they fail to act, then he's going to say you endorsed this thing. You came to Zimbabwe, these people were in jail, and you left them in jail. So you endorsed it. So let's see what is going to happen. It's very, very important for you to understand what is happening here. This is gross human rights violation. The arrest of Timber, the arrest of Ananamatai, all these guys that are in jail. There is no case against them. They are not going to court. And the SADC presidents, they are going to be complicit if they just leave them sitting in jail. After we've written to all of them, and I know behind the scenes, there's so much happening. There's a lot of people talking and pressuring Mnangagwa to act. But Mnangagwa is very, very stubborn. You can ignore someone the way he's doing now. And this is crazy. Mkoma Philip is saying this is pushing everyone to their limits. This is called brinkmanship. Yes. Mnangagwa wants to see. And if they make him SADC chairperson, he's going to do something worse when he's the SADC chairperson. And it's going to be crazy. So as I said, Zimbabwe now on the SADC agenda, SADC Summit agenda, on 3 issues. That is, firstly, the human rights violations. Secondly, the case with Zambia, where Mnangagwa went and reported Zambia to Russia. And thirdly, the SIOM report. There's going to be a statement on the SIOM report, but Mnangagwa wants to see how far these guys are going to go. If they're going to order a dialogue, because the outcome here is an order of the dialogue, or Mnangagwa losing the chairmanship, or a mediation effort in Zimbabwe. Those things are now possible because of what Mnangagwa is doing. It's clear to everyone that Chamisa was just not talking. And he actually had genuine grievances against Mnangagwa. So you can all go and look at, as I said, Chamisa's speech yesterday. He issued a very big speech on the role of SADC. And I think that was quite important. But I would like to see Chamisa more out in the open. I want to see him opening and setting up structures. And we want to see that popularity being translated into a direction. So at the moment, we don't have direction for the leadership vacuum. And when I talk about leadership vacuum, is we don't know where we are going as a country in terms of the opposition. What is the next move? What is he planning to do? And what kind of structures is he going to set up? The Blue Movement is faltered. They've stopped everything that they were doing after Timber was arrested. And as I said, there has been heavy infiltration of the Blue Movement project. Certain people were placed into the Blue Movement who were not supposed to be there. And these people have basically hijacked the project, resulting in its stillbirth, which was terrible. So I want to end here, and I'll be back in the evening. We are looking very carefully at what happens to Namatai Kwekwedza tonight. Namatai Kwekwedza is appearing in court for bail application, and we expect everyone to get bail by tomorrow. Bishop Nyamakanga is appearing, Jacob Ngaruvume is appearing. All these people are just sitting in jail for no reason. And Job Scala, I don't think he's arrested. He's been quitting. And my understanding is that Job Scala is out of the country. If I'm not mistaken, he has left Zimbabwe. That is my understanding. But we have to confirm. I do not have direct contact with Job Scala myself, so I don't know what is happening with him. Right, thank you very much, Mkoma Happy. And I would like to end here. Let me just run and do my workout. I'm doing remote workouts these days. I'm not going out. I'm just doing remote workout with my personal trainer. And then in terms of other things, we're going to be issuing a statement very soon on the shareholding. Like I said, 14 years of Gambakwe, and you can become a shareholder in Gambakwe. So I'm looking for partners, about 10 partners with $20,000 each, so that we build our head office of Gambakwe. It doesn't matter where the head office is going to be. Obviously, I have to change. Maybe I'll have it in Zimbabwe. Maybe I'll have it outside. But I need about 10 partners with $20,000 each who are going to own that part. So you're going to own part of the Gambakwe head office building. So that would be amazing. And it's an amazing opportunity for you to help us build our country. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And I'll see you in the evening. if nothing else big happens during the day. And we'll be talking more about SADC in the evening. Thank you very much, and a good day to you all.